What happens when those sworn to protect and serve come face to face with something they cannot explain? When officers respond to calls that defy logic, when they witness horrors that leave even the toughest among them shaken. These are the stories of real police officers who encountered the unexplainable, and some of them never recovered. The thin blue line between the living and the dead, working in law enforcement, you expect danger. You prepare for the worst, train for every possible scenario. But nothing prepares you for the supernatural. I was a police officer for years, and the things I saw still haunt me. Some nights, I wake up in a cold sweat, hearing voices that shouldn't be there, seeing faces that should have long been forgotten. The stories I'm about to share with you are not fiction. They are the chilling accounts of officers who went on routine calls and left forever changed. The Phantom Caller. It was a quiet night shift when the call came in, 911 hang-up. The dispatcher said the call had come from an abandoned house on the outskirts of town. It had been boarded up for years, condemned after a family murder-suicide. My partner and I drove out to check it out. The house loomed in the moonlight, dark and lifeless. But as we approached, we saw something chilling. The front door was slightly open. We stepped inside, flashlights cutting through the dust-filled air. The place was dead silent, yet my radio crackled to life. "Help me," a faint voice pleaded. I turned to my partner, who was staring at his radio in horror. Neither of us had touched our mics. We searched the house, but there was no one there. The call had come from a phone line that had been disconnected for over 20 years. We never got another call from that house again. The shadow in the holding cell, one of the worst places to experience the paranormal, is a police station itself. The old holding cells were notorious for strange occurrences. Officers often joked about Cell 3 being haunted, but I never took it seriously, until the night I was alone on duty. I was doing paperwork when I heard it, the sound of someone pacing back and forth in Cell 3. I checked the logs. The cell was empty. I grabbed my flashlight and went to investigate. The moment I stepped inside, the temperature plummeted. My breath fogged in the air. Then I saw it. A shadowy figure crouched in the corner. It slowly lifted its head. Its eyes were hollow. Its mouth stretched in a grotesque, silent scream. I stumbled back, slamming the cell door shut. The lights flickered, and the security camera in the hallway captured something terrifying. The shadow moved through the bars and disappeared into the walls. After that night, I refused to work the overnight shift alone. The roadside apparition. Another officer, someone I trusted, told me this story. He had been patrolling a long stretch of deserted highway when he spotted a woman standing on the side of the road. She was barefoot, wearing a tattered white dress, her hair covering her face. He pulled over, rolling down the window. "Ma'am, are you okay? Do you need help?" She slowly lifted her head. Her eyes were black. Not just dark, completely black. He reached for his radio, but suddenly she was gone, just vanished into thin air. His car engine sputtered and died. The temperature inside the vehicle dropped so low, his breath became visible. When he finally got the car started again, he sped off. Later, he learned the stretch of road was infamous for accidents. The woman? She had died in a hit-and-run years ago. To this day, drivers still report seeing her, always standing in the same spot, waiting. The abandoned asylum. The last story is mine. There was an old psychiatric hospital on the outskirts of town. It had been closed for decades, but rumors swirled about trespassers hearing screams, seeing figures in the windows. One night we got a call from security. Motion sensors had gone off. My partner and I arrived to find the front door wide open. We stepped inside, flashlights in hand. The place reeked of decay. Then the sound started. A soft, eerie lullaby played from somewhere deep within the building. We followed the sound, our footsteps echoing through the empty halls. We reached a room filled with old hospital beds, sheets draped over them like corpses. The lullaby stopped. A whisper floated through the air. "Help us." And then every single bed moved at once, the sheets rising as if something underneath was struggling to get free. We ran. We never went back. These stories are not meant to entertain. They are warnings. The world is not as simple as we believe. Some places hold memories so dark they refuse to fade. Some spirits remain trapped between this world and the next. If you ever find yourself working in law enforcement, responding to a call in an abandoned building, driving alone at night, stay alert. Because sometimes the things we fear the most aren't just stories, they're real, and they're watching.